a little.
Hello from the other side.
Now presenting Channeling Erik's Hour of Enlightenment.
Oh my God. We got cut off. Michelle Gray's fantastic camera of my son. We were having such an in-depth conversation, but I guess we'll put that aside and pay attention to you guys. So we were talking about how there are 3 things happening in October at my house. Number one, in the first part of October, Jennifer and Jamin are going to come to do an event, okay? And I can't remember exactly, but if you go to the sidebar on the blog, Channeling Erik, you can punch on the little button and it'll tell you what. Then in 24th through 27th, we're going to have Denise Ramon, Veronica, and Michelle Gray all come over to my house. I feel like breaking out into that song, My House, da, 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 but also very good. Yeah, and so they're going to, there's going to be some private readings, but they're going to have a group panel reading. I don't know. They're planning it, with their evil ways behind my back.
Yes.
And then and then toward the end, we're going to have Tammy come over the end of October and do her healing thing. And the cool thing is, it's all going to be filmed documentary. So if you guys want to be, or even if you don't, we can blur out your face. You got to make it to one of these. Seriously, I will post these kind of things on the blog and on all my social media. But it's really going to be incredible, and you guys get to meet my family. It's going to be fun. So
it's going to be awesome. Erik promises to be there for every event the whole time. He's front row center. He says it's going to be amazing.
All of them. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm finally back in town for good. I am so freaking sick of traveling. I cannot tell you. So it's so nice to get back into a comfortable, albeit busy, routine. So guess what we're going to do? We are going to discuss what a lot of people, we've covered this a little bit before in the blog. I'm not sure if it's a YouTube or not, but the Mandela Effect and, the whole premise that there might be alternative realities where there's a Berenstain Bears book and a Berenstain Bears book where there's Jif peanut butter and Jiffy peanut butter, where the evil queen from, I think Snow White says, mirror on the wall or magic mirror on the wall. And I think, I'm not sure, but I think that the reason it's called the Mandela Effect is there's 2 realities where Mandela died in prison or not. I'm really not sure because I didn't have time to research this in great detail. Sorry about that. But anyway, hello, Erik, and hello, Michelle. I love you both so much.
Erik says, hi, Mom, and he's blowing you a great big kiss. And I say,
baby.
Hi, Elisa, I'm blowing you a great big kiss, too. And Erik's also peace signing everybody, and he's saying, what's up, everybody?
Oh, that's him, all right. All right, so, by the way, get your pen and paper out and write down before we close, just in case, Michelle's website. It's the healing and then an H and then dash ART.com. The healing heart.com. Who would put .com on this thing? Whatever. But put a dash between the H and the A. So it's in my links list on the blog if you need, if you just go to the favorites tab at the top and you can find it that way. All right, so, dude, tell me what in the heck about this Mandela Effect? Are there more than one reality? Is there more than one reality? Oh, but before I say anything else, I want to tell you that my husband and I have this thing where we're not sure if certain things are really true in our past. Like, he thinks that this car that he wrecked, when he went to see it in the parking lot, it actually blew up the flames, but maybe it didn't. I have this thing where I had a pet when I was a kid, but then everybody says I didn't. So it's like, and then even now I dream vividly of these other realities where my parents are still alive and I'm in their clinic and it seems so real. And I have to say, well, no, because in the place their clinic was, there's, some workout place. So, all right, I will shut up and let you talk, Erik.
Erik's laughing and he just says, "Whoa, Mom." He says, "You just took a whole lot of stuff and put it all together, because it's the Mandela Effect is one thing that we're going to talk about are the books and what you just mentioned. However, there's a couple things in there, because there are realities and there are alternate realities we have through dreams, and there is such a thing as like time shifting or shifting vibration. We can do all those kinds of things. But what we're going to talk about today," he said, "is the Mandela Effect, what's known as the Mandela Effect." And it's so interesting because I didn't know. I had no idea what any of this was. And I asked him what the Mandela Effect was, and so he said it was Nelson Mandela, and that people had thought he had died, and then it announced he released from prison and died older, so there's like a memory of it being that he had already died. So this is what had been labeled to these types of experiences. And he says this messes people, he's holding the top of his head, he's like, this messes people up. It can cause like disagreements between people. He says sometimes people can think they're going crazy. Sometimes they can think that they're jumping timelines or things like that. He says it's not a conspiracy theory about these. It's not something that's being covered up about this in particular. And he says that with a little bit of laughter, because he says there are things that are like that out in our world. However, with this, he says, what he's being very silly tonight. Very silly. He's very bouncy. Yeah, I'm just telling him to calm it down a little bit, because he's got me shifted and shaken all over the place. What we're experiencing, he says, is like it's like the colliding of two perceptions. So we have the perception of what we actually did see, and then there's this perception of what we remember or what we think we remember, where the mind may have, how do you say, Erik? Like the mind altered its way of perceiving it, and then there was that belief was then put into reality by more and more people spreading that way of remembering it. So he says it created two different ways of remembering it. However, if you go back, you'll find that there aren't two, like he's saying with the books, there's not two physical books by the same authors spelt those that way. There's only one. So we said that there are things like that where there's, people swear that they saw it the other way, but he says it's actually more of the two realities, and there is one that's correct and then one that's not.
So what creates these two realities? Is it a thought that somebody thought, well, it's Berenstain, and then that reality goes on for a little bit, and then because it's not really, consciousness is not focused, the collective consciousness is not focused on that for very long, it kind of dissipates? Oh my God, I sound a lot smarter than I really am, people, I swear to God.
You channeled it, Mom. You channeled it, Mom. He says.
Of course, he goes from my real brain.
He says it's like it's like the mind imprints it as one way, and then it perceives or sees something another way, hears something another way, and then it replaces that as the actual memory. And then the more people that remember it that way, like it's like turning to, he says, when you're in kindergarten and you turn to your friend and play a game and whisper, 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 and you keep whispering around the room, and then by the time you get to the end, the word is like completely different. And then it's like taking that word and then spreading that out there. So the people that are at the beginning of the circle are going to have it the way it actually started. And then the people on the other side are going to have this completely other idea. And because there are enough people and enough thought, and thought creates reality, we can get into, he said, that whole subject of, something to ponder is how strong your thoughts are and how strong your mind can be when your beliefs are there, because that then creates that reality. But he says so there are like dual memories. And so when you have a group of people talking this way, a group of people talking this way, and because we have so much stuff now available to us through the internet and through the media
True.
and everything else, that
Yeah.
it kind of makes us all scratch our head and go, well, was it this way or was it this way? This is how I remember it, but did I see it like this? And so he says it's a little bit of a mind game as well, but it's also to keep in mind that he says, just like what you said, Mom, about you and Papa, that exactly right there is happening in our lives with a lot of other little things. Think about what else we could have perceived or seen a little bit differently. Think about how much we jump onto things and take assumptions and run with them and believe them about other people. He says we could really apply this whole thing in a whole new way and look at things a lot differently in our own lives, and we can do that right now.
Yeah, because we don't want to just sit there and think the worst of people when it's really not true. That's some alternate reality, etc.
Right.
But I remember, do you remember this, Erik, when we always were together at the dinner table, all 7 of us, and we played that game. We called it Operator, I think, or telephone, whatever. I remember our Annika, when she was real little, her little word she started out was sunflower butt stink. I don't know why, but it's a thing in our family now. It's so hilarious. It did not end up anything like what started. But, and we had the knife. What is it? The knife trip. We took a knife and we twirled it and said, "Who wants to marry Dumbo?" And we twisted it. Oh, you love Dumbo. Who likes to eat their own poop? Twist. Oh, you like to eat, so that. Never a dull moment, and he met his family, and we're carrying on that tradition with the grandkids. So I went on a tangent.
He says our family is very special to share with the world.
Yeah, and remember, Erik, when the kids always wanted you to say, "My favorite food is pizza," a certain voice. It was so funny.
Pizza.
Yeah, good times. So, all right. So, why do we have the Mandela Effect? What is there a purpose for it?
Well, he says,
or is there a purpose for us investigating it and just dissecting it? Sorry.
Yes, and he says, Mom, yes. He says that's exactly right. Really, it's to understand that not everything is just by chance. So it's a lot of people think, well, this is the way it is and this is how it is, and not really realizing what our minds, how much they can play tricks on us, really. It's about understanding that perception and beliefs are very important, and they do create an energy, a vibration, a frequency. And he goes, that's what creates our reality. And that's why you can say 2 people can live in the same home and have 2 completely different realities.
Yeah,
you can understand when you look at it that way. So he says, look at the conversation that we're having right now. And that's what all of this is about. He says, and really this brings it right back to, he's saying, pointing at the internet. The internet, although has its shadow sides to it, and some would say, oh, the internet is evil and the internet is this and that. Because the truth is the internet is what brings all this stuff up. It's what is bringing all these people together to have us question this on a mass scale. Just look how much we're talking about it.
Right, and we created the internet with our thoughts, etc. So, is there anything we can do with the Mandela Effect, or creating alternative realities that is beneficial, that will help mankind? I don't know where that came from, but whatever.
Well, he says, isn't that what we're doing right now? That's what we're doing when we talk about creating our own reality. So it's understanding that we can see something a certain way, and can we look at this a different way? Can we perceive this a different way?
Thoughts have power. Be very vigilant about what you think about people, because it can make or break your life. So
that's right. He says that it really is. He goes, it really is something to ponder in your life. Think about how strong your focus is, how strong your mind is, and those perceptions and beliefs are so important, because he says that's what makes up the structure of your life. And if you don't believe that, well, you're just going to continue having the same stuff. So when are you going to take that chance to believe something different and see that you can create something different? It's like looking at this Mandela Effect, he says, and looking at it backwards and undoing it and figuring out exactly why that is.
Wow. So I think it's not only the thought, but also the emotion and the sensory input. Because when I felt like, I think back and think I had a freaking moped, even though I don't think I did. It's because I was so excited about finally having wheels because I did not have anything, to ride until I was in my 20s. I mean, nothing.
Hmm.
So it's like
Hmm.
I even tried to come up with the money to $400 to pay for to buy one of those old when they were selling post office Jeeps and
Hmm.
paint it and stuff. I was desperate. So mopeds, like I was so excited and I could feel everything.
Hmm.
So that's really important for creating an alternate reality or creating reality. Period. Is to not only just think the thought I had a moped, but also feel what it must have felt like to have one. Smell,
Yes.
well, not the exhaust because mine probably wouldn't. Well, maybe it would have. I don't know, but you know what I'm talking about.
He says, yes, that's exactly right. So he says, emotion is carrying the strength in the frequency. So he says, think of it this way. When you are thinking a thought, that's going out in this little frequency out into the universe. You may not be able to see it, but just like a radio wave, it goes out there. So then
Yeah.
you power that through with your focus, and then you amp that up with your emotion and put that together. And he says that produces a pretty strong package. And if you're continuously giving out that same thing over and over and over, that's your momentum. And that's why
Yeah.
manifestation doesn't just happen overnight, because you have to stop one way of doing it, and then you have to reverse that wheel and get your momentum going in the other direction. And he says
Oh.
the reality that we live in right now with the energy is not going to support anything of material. If you're trying to manifest material just because you want material, you're going to have a really hard time, or it's not going to stick. But he says if you're manifesting something that has purpose for you to do what's good for you and for your purpose, then you're going to
Mhm.
have no trouble manifesting that. You just need to focus and put a little, he says, a little bit of elbow grease into the practice.
Yeah. All right. So, what does emotions from the standpoint of physics? Okay, you have these thought, which is energy, and it goes out into the universe. From the standpoint of physics, how does how do emotions and senses dovetail into that?
So he's showing me a picture, and he's showing like a vibration. So what I'm seeing is vibrations coming out from the body, out of the aura. And so the vibrations coming from thought, depending on how much power is behind the thought, has like a thicker, heavier, stronger vibration. And
Okay.
so the emotion, depending on the strength of the emotion. So let's say there's a memory behind the emotion, or there is an experience behind the emotion. So we're triggered by something in a movie, and that reminds us of losing our pet 10 years ago that we missed so much. And
Yeah.
so that thought then is boosted up by the strength of that emotion. And he says that's like it's just like hair strands. We might have lots of hair strands, but they're all in different, some are real small and skinny
Yeah.
and weak, and some are really thick. So we
And
can
some
look
are
at it the same
gray.
way
I
with
won't even talk
vibration.
about that.
Yes. He says that too.
So, that's interesting. So, why is it that spirits can manifest so? I mean, immediately. Why do we? I mean, you had to work on our inputting our emotions and senses into it.
He says because think about vibration, and he says so. Everything is in energy and vibration. So when we look at that, spirit doesn't have a physical body. There's no physicality that lowers the vibration.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's why spirit's here, is to lower and slow down that vibration, to have these experiences and to go through the process of realizing its own self and creation and creating its own reality. In spirit, we don't need to have that experience. We have a high vibration. So he says, like a hummingbird, it flaps its wings really, really fast. And because it's doing it so fast, we don't see the wings, but they're still there. And so he says, in spirit, we're the same way, and we don't need that experience. So when we want to experience something, we can manifest it instantly, because we don't need the, well, yeah, that's true. He goes, if we want to have the experience of going through it, motion by motion by motion, we'll go into the body and do so.
Okay. Interesting. So, are there people on Earth, humans in a body, who can manifest instantly or near instantly, just like spirits can?
Very, very close. Yes. Yes. He says there are a lot of people that are very practiced at this, and that he says if you want to understand manifestation and you want to understand how it works, it's not just about the thoughts and I am positive, I am positive, I am positive. It's in frequency, it's in energy, and it's understanding how that works and why you think the way you think and putting the whole package together. He says it's not just thinking about it as one thing and I want this, I want this. You have to look right to the intent, right down to how it feels and where your thoughts are going and why you want it.
Jesus, I just want that person who can do it instantly. It's like, okay, Mr. Brown, I want, a spiritual online school for make it happen, make it manifest for me. But, of course, that is not the way it works because you have to really be the one.
He says, step one, identify what it is that you want.
Yeah, and that's the hardest part, really. That's the hardest part for a lot of us. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes. He says, start small. Start by manifesting yourself an apple.
Okay.
For real. He says, manifest yourself something small. Practice with smaller things and practice putting emotion into it. Practice thinking about yourself as vibration, as energy, and look at it in that way. He says a lot of folks that are very left-brained and scientific thinking will understand that and will grasp that to be able to look at it as frequency and vibration.
So just can I visualize myself as being this electrical energy, and when I think the electrical energy of that thought, would that help?
Yes. He says you can. It's whatever way feels right for you. So if you feel like that's not really for you and it's kind of a struggle to visualize that way, he says visualize yourself actually doing what it is that you want to do. He says he says the reason why that's important as well is sometimes you'll go through the motions of doing something and discover that you don't really like that, or it brought up something that you didn't really think of before.
Exactly.
You're like, you know what? I don't really want that. And he's like, and then you look over the other way and say, oh, that feels a lot better. And that's the direction you go in. You start to see that it rolls real quick because that's what's meant for you.
Exactly. Any other questions before, I guess, comments before we take questions from callers? By the way, I still want a moped, but go ahead, Erik. Is there anything else you would like to share that will help us in this whole topic of the Mandela Effect and manifestation?
He said, he goes, it's all about what you believe. He goes, practice your own beliefs. He says you can take so much information on the outside, but remember it's always about how you perceive it on the inside, so that's what you want to pay the most attention to. Oh, and he wants to also say that it's Jiff. It's Jiff, not Jiffy.
Hey. You know what?
He's adding that.
People, Jiffy is actually a physical measurement. It's the time it takes light to travel 1 centimeter. Anyway, we'll go ahead and take callers. All right, so we got somebody from the who must have the number on the speed dial. 210 area code. Let's see who we got. Hi there, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Hi, who are we talking to?
Hi, my name is Jenny. I'm actually, I just want to say, first of all, thank you all for everything you do. Dr. Medhus and Erik, I truly appreciate it.
Just call me Elisa.
Elisa. Okay. I'm actually calling on my husband because his life, we'll choose before we get here what we want to go through, and his is loneliness and rejection, and it just never ends for him. And
I know who this is. I know who. Okay, yeah.
And
I know
it won't stop, and it continues and continues, and he's reliving the past and the future, and he knows that's part of his journey, but he's at his breaking point, and I don't know what to do, and I guess I'm calling because he can't take it anymore. He's at the point where he doesn't like himself anymore, and he can't get the brain to stop.
Erik, you know this dude. He's been in our talk to me, Erik. What can be done to why is he trapped in this path?
Yeah.
Is
and will it get better?
Why?
I'll just tell you, as he's connecting, my whole heart chakra is filling up. Just absolutely, and it's almost, it's burning. It's like I can feel it as a warm sensation, which I'm used to, but I'm getting a real burning in the chest. And is there I just want to ask a couple of questions. Is there a connection? Is there something in his childhood or connection with his parents that had some sort of trauma to it?
Yeah, they've never loved him. Till this day they don't care for him. He's never experienced a normal childhood. He's never experienced what it's like to be loved. He never has.
Okay.
Never.
Okay, so Erik just said, he says the intensity of what he feels, it becomes more and more intense because he's wanting to feel love that he's not yet experienced. And he says, and the reason why he's not yet experienced it is because he feels deprived as a child and feels like something was missing. And so that he has it built in his belief and subconscious that I need to experience this pain. I understand that it's happened. I understand that it's my past. But the one part that he has processed, that part of it, but he's not come to the point to understand that it is only in accepting himself and accepting that love will never come from his parents in the way that he maybe expects that it should, that they're not capable of that. And that doesn't condone anything. Erik says it doesn't say that it's okay. It doesn't say that it's right, but it also says that he came here to find love within himself and to accept himself for who he is. And Erik also said that there is something very special about his heart, and he doesn't feel that he has a purpose, but in connecting with his true heart, he's going to discover his purpose. And there are children out there, and it feels like children that have been abandoned. He's got a connection in helping children. There's some sense of service in his heart. And Erik said it would be beneficial for him to see an energy healer, somebody that can help work with his chakras. He said that being able to align his heart and his mind and releasing the trauma and connecting with his inner child.
You know,
sorry.
You know what? I feel like I feel like saying that the same thing with my parents. And my older sister once told me something that really stuck with me. Sometimes parents are just the Greyhound bus that got you here, and maybe his parents had a spiritual contract to deprive him of love, to force him to, learn how to love himself. And, I think that's real. And I really feel like, I think it was channeled to me, that he needs to come over to my house when Tammy Demers is here and let her heal him. It's so powerful. But anyway, go ahead, Erik. What do you say?
He just said, Mom. He's like jumping up and down, clapping his hands. He says, Mom, yes, you did just channel that, and I will tell you that he's already said Tammy's name. He's already repeated it and said that she would be able to help him with that and be able to help him identify some very pertinent points in his life, connect some dots, and that this would clear him to allow him to feel love not only for himself, but also feel the love that he's receiving from his wife, and also be able to just sense life in a completely new way. He hasn't ever experienced that. Erik says when you've never really experienced it, Erik himself is connecting with this, saying that cloudy, he felt cloudy. He didn't know, he couldn't experience this. And he's just saying, like, I understand you, man. He says, I really do. And he says, but there is a way through this. And he's saying, hold on, and hold on to your heart. And he says, do connect with her, because there is a very new way of living for you, and there is something very fulfilling through this, and this is part of your purpose. He says, you're actually right on time.
I always thought something was very special about your family, but of course, in particular, Michael, he is a very special soul. And every time, I've talked to him or been in his presence, I've felt pain that shouldn't really be there. And it takes a brave soul to incarnate and say, I'm going to have parents that freaking do not love me so I can find love within. And that's powerful. It's probably the most powerful thing you could do is, take on that very difficult challenge of finding self-love.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
Anyway,
well,
I mean, really consider doing this, or I just feel like it would help him so much, man.
Yes.
I mean, I can show you some of the things that happened that, well, I wish I could, but I can't. Of people who were transformed, but they wanted to keep it anonymous. But wow, it's just so powerful. All right, so anyway, give Michael my love, okay?
All right, thank you all very much.
We're sending y'all love. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And
thank you
hey,
for everything.
Erik, have their back, okay?
He says he's right on it. He's just letting you both know that he is right there. Call on him anytime.
Yeah.
All right, thank you all for everything. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I love you guys. All right.
Love you too. Bye. Oh, I think this is going to be the verge of change for this guy and therefore the family.
I feel it.
Yeah, I do. I really do. All right, we got somebody from the 804 area code to switch gears so quickly because that was so powerful. But hi there, how are you doing?
I'm doing terrific, thank you. I just came across your show, and I love the wisdom you're bringing forth. I'm actually a global visionary. I'd like to do what I can to help get your work out bigger and better. And I've had a very bizarre life and been tested in many different ways. And the
great ones are. The light work, the big light workers are.
Well, it really is pretty simple, and just like the last caller, you can choose to be a victim. That's only going to bring more from the law of attraction to you in a negative way.
Yes,
but
exactly.
What I found is the greatest values in life are forgiveness, love, and prayer. So I would start right with the forgiveness for whatever he felt, how he was misjudged or mishandled in his youth. Let that go. And then love the experience, for it made him probably somewhere in his life have more strength where he needed it because he had to be on his own once he was out of the house. And then prayer is when you can't handle things, when you let go and let God, if the faith is solid, you'll see your way through anything. And
that's right.
I actually composed I composed a poem many years ago that I dedicated to my Earth Angel wife. We were married 35 and a half years. She passed back in January 2007, and I don't know how God blessed me with her, but she's a total Earth Angel, and instead of being depressed, I just love who she was in my life, and I know she's working with me from the spiritual realm, and I composed a poem as a motivation for myself, but dedicated to her. This is something, too, to take your mind off of being depressed. Start creating with your creator. The poem's only 3 lines long. It's titled Caring, Sharing. It reads, if you dare to care, then share. If you share, pay heed. God will reward every good deed. So if you change from being into the victim mode and being a blessing to someone, everyone you're blessing is actually a blessing back to yourself. So that's some of the things that I'm working on to bring out to the world. But I also wanted to see if Erik might be able to help you work with me, because I'm in the Veterans Healthcare System since 2008. A month and a half after my wife died, I almost died. And there's so much of what you're doing that needs to be brought into veterans organizations, and especially the Veterans
Thank you for your
Healthcare
service.
System.
Thank you so much for your service.
If I may, I've been on many blog talk shows. If I can share my name, I think you'll see a lot of things even tying into the Mandela Effect.
I'm getting, and maybe this is from Erik, that's going to be my next guest. That's going to be my next guest. So because I think a lot of wisdom coming from you, and a lot of wisdom that needs to be shared. And I totally agree with you, because I had a hideous childhood, but instead of being a victim, I found the wonderful parts of it that made me a better person. I learned to be more assertive, more loving, more compassionate. And that way I was able to express gratitude for my childhood and let the suffering go. And I think that's what you're talking about. But yes, go on, please. Sorry.
Yes, if I can share my name, and then people can see. And there's a big website with all kinds of documentation and things. I've actually also experienced UFO, paranormal, and near-death experiences with ongoing paranormal, very powerful synchronicities. That all ties into the Mandela Effect and quantum physics, and also. And I actually share a common background with President Trump. I pray for him and look to help any president in office unite the country, but he's on his path, I'm on mine. But if enough people pray in the right way, God will put the ego in check where it needs to be. But anyway, my name is Hugh, H-U-G-H. The last name Traulsen is spelled T like Tom, R-A-U-L-S-E-N like Nancy, and there's a big website. The easiest way to get to it is just to Google 3 words, my last name, Traulsen, T like Tom, R-A-U-L-S-E-N, the word and, A-N-D, and then Trump, T-R-U-M-P. It will bring you to a page on a website, rootingoutcorruption.weebly.com. On the home page, there's a blog, creativity777.com, which has the poem Caring Sharing. You'll see a picture of my Earth Angel wife on her wedding day, and the poem is actually also in the President Ronald Reagan Library. It's been discussed as a weapon against terrorism, and Maya Angelou even commented on my poem. And even though I've been disabled for years, I laughingly say, but it's true, I'm changing the world from my dining room table. So I say in gratitude. I'd love to.
I'm saying thank you for your service, but your service continues.
Well,
so
that's
Erik,
exactly right. Yes.
How can we combine forces to together help the world, or at the very least, help him help the world? What can we do?
He says, first of all, we're doing it right here. We're doing it right here by sharing and spreading this information. And he's just saying, by posting things through channeling, Erik, he says opening up conversations. He's Erik's bumping fists with you, and he says maybe a little collaboration.
Exactly. Right.
He's also he wants to just tell you as well that your wife is actually helping you with a lot of what you're doing.
Oh, I knew that right along, and that's why, again, that's why I treasure her so much, because and we went through pretty much what everybody's going through, even natural disasters and personal bankruptcy around the turn of the century, but through it all, those were all tests to see if that would tear us apart. But no, the communication was there, and if she was still alive, I wouldn't be on my mission, because she would just be happy cooking beautiful meals and holding hands and talking, and that's. But what she gave me, that the ultimate gift, is unconditional love. That's why I say everybody incarnates to learn, and we all came from spirit, which people tend not to think about, but that's where we came from. Even an atheist can't deny that. And we're going to go back into spirit. But the big thing is, what are we here for? I say it's to learn unconditional love. And as we learn it, we're supposed to be a blessing to others, especially those who can't help themselves. And whether people want to believe it or not, I say we're fully accountable for everything we do here.
Erik just said that's absolutely right. He just he couldn't have said it better, but he also just wants to add that he says, let's just add on top too that yes, unconditional love, and to learn unconditional love for others, have unconditional love for yourself.
Well, you have to have that.
That's where it starts. That you have to have the love of yourself first before you can love somebody else properly.
And he says that directly. He's pointing it to Michael, and he says that that's directly for you to have that unconditional love for yourself.
Right. So I don't do
Erik
the email or texting. If you can hang on to my phone number, I'd love to speak with you. And I'll let you move on. I hope I didn't take up too much time on the show today.
Email me. Email me.
I don't do the email. That's why I'm asking you if you have my number.
Okay.
Everything on the internet has been put there by people who interact with me, and it's a challenge at times too. But it takes away from my creativity. And I just want to interject this too. You were touching on the internet. I look at the internet as mankind's avatar for the future. It's like the Wild West right now, but it can be cleaned up. The only way that's going to happen is when people become more spiritual and caring and sharing with each other, and rooting out the corruption. That's the biggest problem globally.
Yeah, Erik says that it's all happening. It's all happening.
Yes,
how can I get in touch with you?
Do you have my number there? I can give it to you.
Oh, wait a minute. Is it? No, I have it. I want you to. Okay, yeah, I got it. So that's the number you're talking about. Ends in 1139, right?
1139, yes.
Okay, good.
And are you in the States, or are you in the United States?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful.
I'll talk to you soon, okay?
I think we could do some excellent short books and things. I have even the poem, I want to discuss that with you because I'm looking to utilize that to transform the entire global field of philanthropy.
All right. Well, thank you, Hugh, and I'll get in touch with you. I think you'd be a great guest on the radio show to start with, and then who knows beyond. So thank you so much for your service.
Everybody, please stay in gratitude and pray, and just know that don't have fear, but know that you're going to go back into spirit. How you go back or what you did with your life is what's the most important, not all the physical things, because everything you see isn't solid at all. If you put your hand under a very powerful microscope, you'll see it's not solid. Everything is energy. So it's how you're using your energy, positively or negatively.
Einstein said that matter was frozen light. All right, thanks, Hugh, and I will talk to you very soon, okay?
Okay, thank you so much. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Oh, he's a special guy. Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Full of information.
Oh, my God.
He's very wise. Very wise.
Oh, I can feel it. All right. We got somebody from the 787 area code. Hello. How are you?
Hello?
Hi there. Hey.
Hi. First of all, my name is Ira. Thank you for taking my call.
What's your first name?
Well,
Ira?
Zyra.
Oh, okay.
Zyra.
Zyra. Oh, okay.
Yes. Yes. Hello, Michelle, Erik.
Hi.
Alisa.
Erik says, hey, Zyra.
It's an honor for me. It's a privilege.
Oh, the honor's ours.
Well, I would like to call out to Erik, and I would like to know. He's my brother. He was my brother-in-law. His name is Walter. He passed 3 years ago in a motorcycle accident, and I always have him close to me, and my sister, also his wife, and I feel him so close. I just would like to know he's okay, and if he would like to tell us anything, we would be.
I'm just connecting with him right now. I'm just asking Erik. So Walter, did Walter happen to have naturally curly hair?
I'm sorry?
Did he have naturally curly hair, or is there a joke about curly hair?
No, he had very. It was like his hair was like so blonde, so blonde and blue eyes. He was like, yes.
Like he would have been like a. I'll tell you what I'm seeing is that somebody as a little kid was like a Gerber baby. I don't know if you knew him as a child, but I keep being shown like this extremely handsome.
Yes.
Very, very well liked, kind, and sometimes quiet. Let's see here. Step back a little bit.
Walter was a very joker. He was very much he was the kind of person that would do things quietly, but he was so loved. And
he had a great sense of humor.
Yes.
And he poked fun at you. He had some jokes at you. Because what he's going to directly is he's just like that what you wouldn't do to have some of those times back. It's like you have these memories of that just make you sad sometimes because you just miss them, but you also do feel him there. And he says that he does hear what you say to him. So you talk to him when you're driving in the car. Is that the time? Yeah, because he's right there, and he also said that you feel me, and he said that music, that song that you heard, that you're hearing lyrics or you hear something, and you're like, was that you? Are you talking back to me, or are you? And he's saying yes, I am right there. And so he has a child.
Yes, he does. He's 32 years old. His son, Jonathan.
Oh, okay. And does Jonathan have a child? Does Jonathan have a little girl?
No, he has another son named Erik, and he has a girl. Yes.
Okay, because I see it identifying a little girl in the family and just saying that the little girl connects with them. There's something special between them.
Okay. Does he have anything to say to my sister, Yvonne? It's mainly what I would like to know.
Okay. Is she? He did, and she. So, is there something about her saying that she doesn't know if she can ever be with somebody else again, or not sure if he would be okay with that? Is there something that's come up? Because he's just saying that he's sorry, but he wants her to be happy because he wants to make sure she understands that her carrying life forward or loving somebody else is okay with him.
No,
it's okay. Yeah.
So that's a message. Like, okay. Yeah. She's most likely hearing right now. On the other side, she's in Virginia, and I'm in Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we all follow Channeling Erik, and yes, and I love Erik. Erik passed kind to me, and
Erik loves you.
It's very overwhelming.
Yeah, Erik's just he's putting a lot of love to you, and he's just saying that you hear spirit. Like, you do connect with spirit. Are you aware of that? That you may not hear them as voices or as words, but you're feeling things. Erik just says that sometimes it can overwhelm you a little bit.
Yes.
Like, he's around you.
Is it clear just getting these ideas that?
Yeah.
Is it something like
that's how it comes in. Yeah.
You don't know where it came from?
In that way.
Ah, just like me.
Yeah.
Cool.
It might feel a lot like yourself because you've been doing it for so long. But there's a few things like there's a couple things that have happened to you not that long ago that you've even been like, okay, that has to be that, or I recognize that myself, because he just said that you're going to grow. And there's your brother-in-law. I keep going back to the daughter. She's clairvoyant. She can see. It runs in your family, or there's something.
Cool. That's why the daughter keeps coming up, huh? That's awesome.
Yes. My mother's a medium, and my grandmother was.
Yeah.
And also my grandfather.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Very cool. Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you for calling in.
Well, thank you so much, and many blessings.
Thank you. Thank you. Erik says bye.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
Wow. Special family. Wow. Okay.
Cool.
Have somebody from the 540 area code. Hi there. How are you doing?
Hi. I'm fine, thanks. This is Lucy. I talked to you, I think, 3 weeks ago. My brother had just died. And
Wait,
I had
what's
a few
your first
questions.
name? I didn't hear it.
Lucy.
Oh, Lucy. Yes. Okay.
Lucy.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And your brother just died.
Yeah. And I wondered if you can get in touch with his parents, that's my parents, and what they think. What was the purpose of his life?
That's a good one. Well, so powerful. Gosh.
My sister and I think his life was totally wasted, but who are we to know?
Can you just give me your parents' first name and your brother's first name?
Did you say my parents' first name?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Henry and Mary Elizabeth, and then my brother's he was called Hank.
Did Hank die of something to do with addiction or anything?
Well, he had a big aneurysm operation a couple of years ago that left him weakened. There were complications of that operation, and he died on the table and everything. It was bad, but he made a comeback, and the medium 3 weeks ago said that he actually died on the table, and talked to people on the other side, and they told him he could come back, but if he did, there'd be no other options. So to make a long story short, he sort of more or less recovered from that operation, and then 10 months later he got C. diff. C. difficile, that intestinal bug. Yeah. And it ravaged his body. I mean, he got down to 80 pounds, and and he was drinking scotch all the time. I mean, that can definitely figure into it.
Well, I was getting because the body being depleted, and I was getting that there was something with addiction winding through it. I'm just trying to pull his energy in a little bit here in your parents.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of picking up a few things with it. Okay, Eric's going to give me a little bit of this information because I can feel all of their energy. And so your parents, their presence is here, and they're greeting you. Your brother has connected with them. Your brother's cross, you know that. Your brother's cross. So what Erik is just saying to me is that sometimes when we have a life path that has opportunity to it, we have choices that we make, and whatever choice we make, it has a path there with that.
Yeah.
And there were experiences that his soul had put forth to him, and then he had the choices whether to go forward one direction or forward the other. And so this is a little bit of that being created. So part of it is his soul wanted to create experience, choice, but this is also has to do a little bit with you as well, and with your sister. And is there another family member? Do you have another brother, or is there another male?
No, it's just me, my sister, and him. And also a little background. They didn't know it when he was born. I mean, that's been like 69 years ago. But he had it was called cross coordination. He had dyslexia. He had shades of autism, but he had an absolutely brilliant mind.
Yes.
Yeah, but he didn't have any social skills, and he was a misfit all his life.
Well, let's get back to what was his purpose here, this incarnation?
It was the experience. It was the experience, because it was the experience of having. Erik's not saying it as a disconnection. It was being different, but it was going through the experience and having choice and opportunity through it.
Yeah.
So it was experiencing life from his perspective, but it was also like his experience is like a sacrifice for those who are watching it as well, and those who are experiencing, because there's a spider web.
He got on drugs and everything.
Yes.
He could have done brilliant things.
Yes.
Good things.
And that's where Erik is saying not everything is set in stone. We come here with a soul plan, and some soul plans have, he's just giving me like an amped up feeling, like a vibration where they are going to more than likely go this way. So it has a more of an energy to it's definitely going to happen, and it might have more of a humanity connection to it. So it's going to happen for sure. Whereas some souls go in, and Erik's just also saying no experience is better than the other. They're just different. They're different experiences. So some souls go in to experience life in a very different way, because he had a whole world of his own. But his difficulty
he lived in his own
accepting it.
world.
Yeah. He wanted to feel other things as well. And he also felt conflicted in society, which is where the addictions would come in because it would help him escape in certain ways. And Erik keeps bringing up detachment as well. So there's a little bit of healing that is happening with him because your parents they've already received each other, they've connected with each other, and they just want to let you know that his life is not a waste. His life was not a waste. His life has purpose. He experienced exactly what he came here to do, which was to come in with these challenges and to experience life through adversity. Now,
and choice.
Yes, and choice.
Yeah,
and choice. And did he live out the experience from the choices he made? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And that's not a life wasted.
Yeah,
no,
not at all.
Yeah,
no experience is wasted.
Yeah.
No life is wasted. All right, we're going to have to close up this show. Thank you. I really appreciate you calling in, all of you guys.
Thank you.
You bet. And Erik, I love you. Michelle, thank you so much for this. Wow, you were amazing. Can't wait to see you in my house. I hope you guys join us too. Michael, I hope you come down as well. It's going to be an amazing October, people. A big, huge leap for mankind.
Yes.
And anyway, if you guys want to check her out, Michelle is at The Healing and then H and then dash art.com. So thank you so much, and we will talk to you guys next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Erik says, good night, Pete. Bye.
Love you, my baby.
Love you, Mama.
Bye.
Bye.